Hi everyone, my name's Michelle and I'm Mama Loves You GB here on FlossTube, but also over on Instagram and Etsy as well. Welcome to the Sunday morning briefing. It's the 11th of February. It is half term. We got there in the end. I'm back in the Cotswolds. I've just called down to Mum's just for a few days. I've got some boxes still in her garage, probably from about 10 years ago, that need to be sorted out. They are mainly my old kind of scrapbooking things, so lots of paper and card and things like that. So they need to be sorted out. However, I have Ness with me, so I think I might have to just cut out the middleman, put the boxes in my car, get home and just sprinkle them liberally all over my living room. Because as soon as she sees pretty paper, pretty card, the chances of me destashing them, passing them on to anybody else are probably quite minimal. So I should just cut out the middleman, put the boxes in the car, get home, throw them in the living room. Job done. Anyway, I have got some bits and pieces to share with you. I missed you last week. Last week, for those of you who aren't caught up, I was invited to go to the enthronement of Dorian Davis, who is the new Bishop of St David's. It was fabulous. It was fabulous. As you can see, it's quite a weighty, quite a weighty event. Lots and lots of tradition, lots and lots of interesting things about the church that I didn't know about. As I've said before, I'm not a particularly religious person, but it does interest me, the sort of pomp and circumstance, the traditions that go with it. So I was very interested with who was wearing this regalia and why they were wearing that, and why this one person turned up looking like Dick Turpin in like a velvet frock coat and everything. It was amazing. It was really, really good. A mixture of Welsh and English. And it was quite funny because I was sat there, then Ness between us, and then Chris was sat on the other side. And Dorian had said something in part of his sermon, and all of a sudden Ness replied to him in Welsh. And Chris and I both looked at us like, what? And it's something that they do at school. It's part of the Welsh kind of Christian tradition that they do at school. So us two sitting there having no clue what Dorian had just said, and Ness is quite happy replying to him with the rest of the congregation. So it was brilliant. It was really, really good. I've got quite a few bits to share with you today. I have been hit by the twin evils of procrastination and obsession. Procrastination of the things that I should be doing, and obsession about something that I have no business to do. Absolutely no business starting whatsoever, and have become obsessed with it. I've also got a few market previews that I'd like to share with you of things that I am really looking forward to purchasing. I've got a little tiny bit of haul to show you, but not a lot. And I have got a box to share with you that I have been gifted as part of a stitch along, but I will share that with you in just a minute. So, what stitching have I done in the last 2 weeks? Full disclosure, I have done a tiny amount on this, very, very tiny amount. I've started to fill in the house a little bit. Just at swimming the other night, just started to fill that in. But you've seen that a few times, and it hasn't changed very much, probably in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I need to get my backside into gear with that one. I did quite a bit on my blessing sampler because I knew I wasn't going to get it finished by the end of January. I did a classic thing. I went hell for leather with it at the beginning of January, and then I thought, oh, I'm going to finish this way in advance of where I need to. And instead of actually just keeping going and just leaving myself a few stitches to do at the end, I stopped and did some other bits and bobs, and then I'm nowhere near finishing it now. I blame Markup RXP because I actually put this chart into Markup RXP, and it kept giving me updates of when I would finish it, when I would get it done. And I was like, well, that's well in advance, that's well in advance, that's well in advance. But they're only true if you pick it up, apparently. It doesn't stitch itself while you're faffing about with other things. So this is where I am. Now, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how much I'm going to do beyond the houses. I do really like the alphabet on this though. So I may do the alphabets below, but I'm not going to do the border. So point one of finishing, I could literally just finish the cartouche and finish the houses and frame it there, or I could pop the alphabets underneath. And like I say, I do really like this font, so I'm kind of loath to stop where I am because I really like the font. That's been stitched on a piece of 36 count wood smoke from Tabby Cat Linen with a Silks for You, which is this beautiful kind of blue with some quite bright turquoise in it. Actually, I don't know if you can see on some of the houses, it does actually have some really bright turquoise on it. So what has been my obsession? Because it wasn't that, otherwise I'd have finished it. I decided that I wanted to stitch this particular chart about Christmas time, and then I couldn't find it. Couldn't find it to buy anywhere. Well, that's like a red rag to a bull, isn't it? It's, you know, there's something you want, you can't find it. That then polarizes that particular chart as being the most important thing in the world. So I couldn't find it. So I asked on a couple of hunting sites, cross-stitch chart hunting sites, unicorn threads that pop up occasionally. And first of all, someone said, oh, it's not out of print. It's just the people in charge of printing it haven't printed it for a while. So it's not technically out of print. It's just not about at the moment. And then I had another lady, or a couple of ladies actually, who offered to send me the chart. So I do have the chart. And I was like, right, okay, that's fine. I've got the chart. That's good. And then it was like, well, I think I've got the fabric I want. I'll just order the threads. I'll just order the threads. So I ordered the threads and the threads came and I started. I couldn't not start it. So, oh, needle, hang on, let me just put this needle back in whatever it just fell out of. And so yeah, for the past week, I have been obsessed with this. I haven't stitched anything else. I haven't framed up Maria Foskett like I was supposed to. Partly because I thought I had a frame for her and then I've misremembered it's not, it's for something else. So I've got to order a frame for her. But yeah, all of those things that I should have been doing, those things I should have been finishing off, went completely out the window. So let me show you which picture it is. It's actually a lavender and lace. I've never ever stitched a lavender and lace before, and I can't say it, so that's probably a good thing. And this is called Santa of the Forest. Now, a lot of people have stitched it. I saw Vonna just finished stitching hers. And it's a chart I've always known about, but until I developed an extreme obsession for it, I had no desire to stitch it. And then I just suddenly became obsessed by it. And so yeah, I've started it on a piece of 32 count. It was a fabric of the month that I got from Chromatic Alchemy while I was in their fabric of the month club. And I'd always seen this chart on this particular colour fabric. And so, yeah, this is a week's stitching. There we go. So there is my obsession. Now I have ironed this, but I didn't put any steam on the fabric, so it's not necessarily the best ironing. And it probably could do with, let's see if I can put something white behind the bit that I've actually stitched on, because it's looking a little bit, yeah, something like that. The green is suffering a little bit from not being shown as quite the right colour, but there we go, it's not too far away there. So I've done quite a bit of the cloak that hangs down here and the face of the bear, which is where I started because the face of the bear is sort of in the middle. I knew I'd have plenty of fabric because it's a fat quarter, but I just wanted to start in the middle so that I wouldn't have any problems with the framing. And so I've got most of an owl and a bit of a bear, a one-eyed bear, and then this cloak that's coming down here. So yeah, that's probably a better reflection of the colour actually. I did wonder about this colour fabric because of the greenery at the top, but I've well, and there's some more down the bottom here, but I've always seen him on a green fabric. And invariably, all the ones I've ever seen stitched have been stitched on quite a neutral colour fabric. And there's probably a reason for that. It probably would have looked better on a neutral fabric. But I just loved him on this fabric. And I think as I stitch the rest of the piece, and particularly the beard, which is going to form probably, if you look at the picture, the beard is probably about a quarter of this stitch. That bright white beard is really going to make him pop. So yeah, that is where I have got to at the minute, and this has been my obsession. And we'll see how long it carries on for. I really do have to get on, do some other things pronto, because I've got some bits to finish for Stitch in London Sampler Edition, which is literally a couple of weeks away now. That has come round super, super fast, and we've got some great plans. And I've got one little thing to share with you that I'm going to have available at Stitch in London for those who are going. So that is my obsession. That is my obsession. Right, let's have a little look and see, first of all, what Theresa Kogut has given us to stitch this month in the Patreon, because these are fabulous. As you know, I get the Patreon every month, and I don't always necessarily share all of the charts, but this month she has outdone herself. What did not outdo itself was the printer this morning, trying to print these out. There was some choice words and some gestures actually at the printer. So this is the first one. This is called The Best Friends. Stitchy friends make the best friends, which is very, very true. So that's available for tiers 2, 3 and 4. I'm in 4, so I get the lot, mainly because I have a massive fear of missing out when it comes to Theresa Kogut Patreon charts. This is number, where is it? Where is it? There it is, tucked in. This is the second one. So this is for tiers 3 and 4, and this is called Needleworker's Home. So this is a lovely open fronted house, which is basically eat, stitch, or eat, sleep, stitch, repeat. So got the kitchen, the house, the kitchen, the bedroom, the living room and the sewing room. What I really need to do with mine is take some of these things from the stitching room and just spread them out through the house, because I don't have a sewing room or a stitchy room, and I wish I did. I'm always very jealous of everyone showing their stitching rooms or talking about like redoing their stitching room, and so it's been fabulous. It'll be fabulous, it'll be fabulous. And this is the last one. Now actually this is going to be a market release. Now usually the charts that Theresa includes for Patreon have got 12 months before they're released to everyone, but she has released this one really early. And to me basically it's just like she's given me one of the most recent charts in what I pay already, so it's fabulous. So this is tier 4. This is the Needleworker's Oath. I promise to keep needlework in my hoop and will try with all my heart to stitch daily. Love that. Love, love, love that. So I can't wait to stitch that. And this month I did also buy the ornament. There's a little ornament for $5 every month, and sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't, but I really liked this one. The little birds with the strawberries. Now, my market picks. Now, Theresa has got 3 actually of my market picks. So I'm going to show you some photos. There's one called Where There Are Birds, or Wherever There Are Birds. I can't read what I've written. Wherever There Are Birds, I think. So I'm going to let me scooch over this way and leave myself a proper space. So Wherever There Are Birds by Theresa Kogut. She's also done one called Serenity, which is more of a sampler style. And she's also done a book called Hello Spring. Now, I think I may have a lot of the Hello Spring books, but I've got to get this one because one of the models in is actually my stitch. It was the one, I think it was called Cherry Jubilee. So I'll put a picture of my stitch up there, and then it's just nice that it's included in a book. So I might have to get that book. I am also after the 12 Days of Christmas stockings by Annie Bees. I'm also after Spring Green Pears, which I have clearly written as Spring Green Peas. The Camper Sampler by Silver Creek. I love that. This would just be perfect for our family. Not that I'm massively into camping, but the other two are. Anything by the Artsy Housewife. Oh my goodness. She has really done some fabulous, fabulous... oh, they're just amazing. They're just amazing. If I can put pictures of all of them up, I will. Liz Matthews' Spring House, which is another one of those split over 2 different colours of fabric. And I got a feeling that it's the same fabrics as the Halloween house or the October house, whatever it was called before, Autumn house. And I've got fabrics for that from the same dyer, so they should be able to be put right up to next to one another. And I also really like the Primrose Cottage 12 monthly minis. Now I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more that I'm going to want to add to my collection, and it is a collection. The stitching chart collection and the stitching are 2 separate hobbies. So those are the ones that I'm really, really looking out to get. Not necessarily all in the next 5 minutes, although, you know, but over the next 12 months, those are the things that I really want to look out for. Right, let's do a freebie. This is by Samplers Forever, and this is called Grow Love. So it's just a really sweet little, could be like a Valentine's one, could be a spring one. Really, really sweet, would stitch up super, super quickly. So I'll put the link to that one. I actually found that on a Facebook group. I'll see if I can find the proper link to it. Now, before I forget, I just wanted to thank all of you who have bought Be Not a Dunce. I've had a real run on Be Not a Dunce, and I didn't quite know where it had come from. I know a lot of people had stitched it as their blessing samplers, and I was seeing lots and lots of them being tagged in lots of them on Instagram. But there were so many people who've bought Be Not a Dunce in the last of 6 weeks. And so I asked out, and Molly from Linen and Scraps has stitched it, and she's put an extra border around her. So she stitched it in a variegated thread, which makes it look a little bit more like the original. And as I said, she's put an extra border around the outside. And Lisa, who is Lady Hussar, had also stitched it and shown it. So thank you to everybody who stitched it as their blessing sampler. I like the fact that you don't want to be a dunce this year, and that is an important message for everybody. It definitely is. Now, when I reproduced her in black as a November, black sample November stitch, but the actual colour, original colour, is kind of like a grey blue. I'll see if I've got any photos of her. I've definitely got a photograph, obviously, of my my stitch that I put out as a chart, but I'll see if I've got any photos with me of the original stitch, and I'll put them in as well. But she is lovely. She really is lovely. Right, what is in this box? What is in this box? So the Historical Sampler Company contacted me to see whether I would be interested in doing a stitch along with them of their latest stitch along. And their latest stitch along is called All Things Grow with Love. And they've sent me the kit pack. So I have got 32 count fabric and everything that came in this box that I will show you in just a second. So I haven't got the chart because the first one doesn't come out until the 19th of February. But I do have some white linen, which is a nice big piece. I'm not sure whether it's going to stay white. It might end up being a little bit tea-dyed. I'm not brilliant with bright white linen because I stitch in hand. I don't know if bright white's ever been something that I've been that good at. So that's what we got. All Things Grow with Love. So that's the fabric. And then there was this lovely bag. It says, "You're brilliant, brave and beautiful." Well, I don't know about that, but we'll go with it. And then all of this was inside the box. I've tried to take some photographs of the box, but I've just not managed to get it all in beautifully because there's so many things. So this is the All Things Grow with Love thread card. So look at those beautiful spring colours. There are some fabulous, fabulous ones there. So lots and lots of threads. Beautiful. And we also got a set of these, some little thread drops in quite a nice heavyweight plastic actually. They're really cool. Really cool. This lovely needle minder. I'm in love with this, which has actually got the needle stuck to the back of it. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? Let's turn it around a bit. Beautiful bird. And a little pair of scissors. Love, love, love. And some Leone pastels, mixed wild berries. Now I've been after having a go at some of these, but I didn't until I'd taken the pictures and shown it to you. So there we go. And we also got a nudge hoop. Now I don't really stitch with hoops, and I've certainly not got a nudge hoop. So I'm going to give it a go. I am going to give it a go. You never know when suddenly you find something new that's brilliant. So I'll give it a go. I'll probably end up going back to stitching in hand, but that's a good size nudge hoop. I know a lot of people really, really like them. And it came in that box with beautiful tissue paper and other bits and pieces of paper in there. It just looked amazing. So I can't wait now till the 19th of February to be able to get going with that. So thank you very much for that. I am super, super excited about that. Right, what else have I got? I've got a couple of other little bits of haul to show you, and something that I am going to be having with me at Stitch in London, the sampler edition. Now, lots of you loved the giant buttons that I showed at Christmas that were made by a local lady who is the button queen. And they had Merry Christmas and Nadolig Llawen written on them. And so I asked her if she could make me some. So I'm going to have with me for sale just at this event. I may have some left over that might end up on my Etsy shop, but at the moment it's just for this event. I have had some big buttons made, sampler stitcher, and I'll put some ribbon through the middle so that you'll be able to hang them up. But they are beautiful, really, really lovely, tactile, great big buttons. So I can't wait to share those with you if you are going to Stitch in London, the sampler edition, in a couple of weeks. I have also got to share with you, or to show you today, not to take to the sampler edition. I bought one of these. A big one, it's called a bunny wooden board. Now this came from Home Bargains in the UK. It's a nice sort of shaped board for sort of presenting Easter food and things like that on. But I'm going to use it as a backboard for a stitch. I really want to do, at some point, not necessarily anytime soon, the cross-eyed cricket, either spring or Easter. And I thought it would look great kind of mounted with the rabbit behind. So I picked that up. I also got on a stash unload. Now I can't remember if I showed you this. I don't think so. The 2022 Heart in Hand Collector's Heart, because I've done the 2023 one and I loved it. It comes with the fabric and the buttons. I'm not as fussed on the 2024 one, I don't think. So I was quite pleased to pick this one up. And then I had a lovely voucher from for a company called Frobbles, from a lovely lady called Sue. And I decided to spend it. So what did I buy? I bought Elizabeth Walsh by the Scarlet House. So Elizabeth Walsh's work at the bottom. I particularly like this one because it reminds me of the Welsh blanket along the bottom there. And it came with all the threads as well. So all these beautiful colours. Love that red. That red is Cherry Cobbler, of course, one of my favourite reds. So beautiful colours there. So I'm looking forward to starting that. I'm not going to be starting it anytime soon. Well, that's what I said about the other one, wasn't it? So 36 count doubloon is the called for, but I shall be stitching it on a piece of 36 count, probably a fox and rabbit from the Fabric of the Month Club. And then my Fabric of the Month Club from Patchwork Rabbit came. This is the Fibre on a Whim Club. This is actually December's piece. I think they had a bit of a hold up at the Fibre on a Whim end. So I get a 32 count, and this is a piece of old gold. Now I know what I'm going to put on this. I know what I'm going to put on it, and it will be a new release, but I'm not making any time frame promises because me and time frame promises don't go very well. It's been so busy at work. We've had a 5-week term, so it's been 5 weeks between Christmas, coming back from Christmas, and February half term. It's usually 7 weeks. So you might think, well, okay, you've had 2 weeks less to do, but I'm convinced we've done the same amount of stuff, parents' evenings, other evenings, reports, everything like that. I'm convinced we've done exactly the same amount in 5 weeks as we did normally in 7 weeks. So I think everybody crawled to half term this week. But we're here, and it's fabulous. So I think that's it from me today. You'll be seeing this kind of lunchtime-ish, I'm guessing, but my mum's internet is way faster than mine, so I know I can film on a Sunday morning and still get it out on a Sunday. Anyway, it's been lovely to spend some time with you. I will see you next week. Stay classy, Stitchers.